For example, the individualist examines the nonsensical and purposely unintelligible itemized hospital bills with ridiculous charges such as $5,000 a day for a room, $50 per pill, tens of thousands for one titanium screw, or $75,000 per year as the average nursing home bill for a single individual, and sees the unrealistic markup and blatant theft of these institutions. Corruption is rampant and has many heads and faces, such as the following five health insurance companies, which have profited billions per year on the people's money. 1. United Healthcare Group, $4.1 billion. 2. WellPoint, $3 billion. 3. Aetna, $1.7 billion, etc. Many often pitch that hospitals and insurance companies act as separate entities, robbing each other. This is most likely a secondary illusion, with the reality being that the hospitals are owned wholly or partially by healthcare industries such as insurance, pharmaceutical, medical equipment manufacturers, etc. Thus, the loss shown by many hospitals is simply a front for the great profits of such industries composing and profiting off of all hospitals. These and similar institutions frequently give campaign donations to politicians to bias support, laws, etc. in their favor. The people are already paying for everything, thus there is no need for private middlemen making $11 billion in profits. These middlemen, as all others, are not of the people or in favor of the people. They are private and for their own interests, a siphon in the middle of a simple stream. As one can see, private establishments such as these stand in the way of a simple, reasonable system of affordable and logical health care without any of the drama and hype. These and similar institutions have billions of dollars in reasons to stop such simplicity. 5. Food. In our present insane society, industrial farmers are more worried about the sale of their product than its nutritional value and safety for their fellow man. They drench the crops with pesticides and fertilizers, many which do not fully wash off and are highly toxic. After harvest, they then further poison the foods with preservatives as well as chemicals to make them look good, prohibit mold, etc., and then send it to the marketplace. These industrial farmers are supported by the government, who pays them with the people's tax money to grow crops. Thus, the people paid for the crops to be grown, yet they buy them a second time at the marketplace for a $120 billion profit to the industrial farms. The government then pays them to burn the crops so that the market isn't flooded with product and diluting the price, to maintain control of the cycle of waste and consumption. This then taxes the soil from overuse, which the farmers then have to pay to have fertilized, more profit for the chemical industry. $25 billion of taxpayer money in the form of farm subsidies to mostly massive corporate farms is squandered in this way annually. This nonsense and lack of reason is the individualist's archenemy, so far removed from logic it is mind-numbing. Approximately $500 billion is spent processing and distributing these foods. The individualists, being self-sufficient, rear their own small farms. Apart from having safe food, it eliminates the need for a $500 billion processing and distribution cycle, $120 billion in profit to unnecessary industrial farms, and $25 billion in subsidies which will be redistributed to the people to assist them in their personal micro-farms. The U.S. creates 10,000 new processed food products every year, and nearly 90% of its food spending is on these processed foods. This present world madness has extended to unprecedented levels. With it, man feeds his fellow with harmful laboratory creations and calls them, generally recognized as safe for consumption, food, as an actual FDA term. All significant efforts to clearly inform the people are impeded or not made at all. Within the average household, practically all foods will contain one or more of the ingredients listed below. Many of the trusted household names are not to be trusted when one researches their ingredients and deceptive labeling of these poisons in one's food. All of these ingredients are shown in different tests to be harmful to some degree to the human body, but are allowed to be present in food because the U.S. democratic decision-making has been compromised by many industries and the safety of the people is no longer a priority. Government departments such as the HHS and FDA, along with back pocket politicians, all benefit by allowing poison to remain in the food for the profiting industries. These chemical additives were not designed with the consumer in mind. They were designed strictly for profit, making food, 1, look better. No sale can be made on even the healthiest food if its appearance is bland. The focus is simply on the sale, not the nutritional value for the buyer. 2, last longer. This is so the merchants can maximize their profits. The longer something can sit on the shelf, the more chance it has to be sold. The concern is not health, it is profit. 3, taste and smell better. Nearly all of modern food has been so overly processed that chemicals need to be added to give it flavor and smell. Most big-name fast foods and high-dollar name brands get their smells and tastes from artificial flavor manufacturers, and certainly not from their food quality or preparation method. Without these chemical giants, you would never buy the substances which taste no better than dust. The aim is profit, not well-being. 4, lower calories. The marketing madness of caloric intake pushed upon the world has caused people to rather eat 0-calorie cyanide than 1 calorie of naturally occurring fat, which is essential for the intake of many vitamins and imperative for proper brain function. It has created a slew of feverish mindsets bent on buying anything that is labeled reduced fat or low calories, etc. The generally safe toxins which achieve this in various ways are created for the sole purpose of capturing this part of the market, thus are simply profit-minded. 5, cost-effective. Substituting artificial chemicals for their expensive natural counterparts is often cost-effective for the manufacturer. The motive in all cases is profit fivefold, with not one concern for you. The below list is by far exhaustive. These are just some of the most common of these chemicals to be aware of. Of all of the chemicals listed below, if one cares not to watch for all of them, at least avoid these 4. Just in these 4, one will begin finding shopping a challenge. 1, BHA and BHT. 2, anything hydrogenated. 3, aspartame, also known as equal or NutraSweet. 4, artificial colors, blue 1, blue 2, red 3, and yellow 6. A, artificial colors. Blue 1 is derived from coal tar. Blue 2 is derived from coal tar. Carmine, or cochineal extract, comes from drying and pulverizing over 4,000 cochineal insects to produce an ounce of this red dye. Can be at times labeled as added coloring. Green 3, derived from triphenylmethane, which is made by reacting benzene and chloroform with aluminum chloride catalyst. Prohibited in the European Union. Red 3, derived from coal tar. Red 40, derived from coal tar, has produced 2 unidentifiable metabolites in urine. Prohibited in Australia, Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland. Yellow 5, derived from coal tar. Yellow 6, derived from coal tar. All of these chemicals have shown adverse effects on humans to varying degrees, yet still remain in the food supply. All products containing coal tar and coal tar derivatives are prohibited in Norway. B, artificial flavor. On food labels will either be seen artificial flavor or natural flavor, but preferably neither. The presence of either signifies a bland food, lifeless without this magic component, or a food that needs a taste hidden. To distinguish, natural flavor may denote a chemical extract from a real plant. However, it is still added, thereby acknowledging that the product one is consuming lacks that property naturally. Also, natural flavors does not delineate the extraction process used or the chemicals which may have also been employed in that extraction process. Conversely, artificial flavors are created with no link to the original substance. They are entirely engineered in a laboratory. Flavor has become merely an ingredient, not a product of the ingredients. Many of the famous flavors of the fast food chains and name brand foods of today are actually purchased from chemical companies composing the flavor industry, such as International Flavors and Fragrances, IFF, the world's largest flavor manufacturer, Givaudan, second largest, Firmenich, third largest, Frutarom, Harriman, Reimer, Takasago, Quest International, etc. This flavor industry has annual global revenues of approximately $10 billion. There is no law requiring that the chemicals which make up these synthetic flavors be labeled for public awareness, as long as each individual component of the flavor is tested as GRAS, G-R-A-S, which means generally recognized as safe. As seen in just a few of the above colors, GRAS has no meaning when deemed as such by a corrupt entity such as the FDA. A number of these chemicals, such as vanillin, are derived from coal tar, just as the above colors, which are known to be harmful. C. Manufactured fats. These synthetic fats are inexpensive and have long shelf lives, thus bring greater profit all around. 1. Hydrogenated oils, trans fats, derived by passing hydrogen gas through oil. The health effects are numerous, including coronary heart disease, stroke, liver dysfunction, cancer, and obesity. 2. Olestra, a synthetic fat developed by Procter & Gamble, impedes absorption of vitamins D, E, K, and A, and causes numerous adverse bowel effects. 3. Salatrim, a modified fat developed by Nabisco, who declared it safe for human consumption and marketed it without FDA approval. There is much debate as to the proper testing of this substance, as tests appear suspect. Evidence suggests adverse gastrointestinal side effects. D. Flavor enhancers. 1. MSG, monosodium glutamate, or free glutamic acid, allows the reduction of real foods by multiplying the taste of smaller portions. An arguably addicting substance, it is often disguised in many ingredients that contain or create it during manufacture, such as autolyzed yeast, carrageenan, enzymes, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, sodium caseinate, yeast extract, and many others. Disodium inosinate and disodium guanylate often signify the presence of MSG in one or more of the ingredients, being that they enhance MSG action but are impotent alone. Similarly, the phrase seasonings or spices may also indicate added flavor enhancers. The FDA, HHS, and USDA do nothing to ban the use of this deceptive, ambiguous, and misleading labeling of foods, knowing that it would capsize the entire food industry due to the fact that most foods contain harmful chemicals as these for strictly profiteering purposes. Some claim MSG triples insulin release, causing obesity with excessive use. Some claim possible links to ADHD, ALS, Alzheimer's disease, autism, diabetes, Huntington's disease, migraines, Parkinson's disease, and a myriad of other adverse nervous and endocrine system effects due to the excitotoxicity of free glutamic acid.